Hello there, Bitizens, and welcome to the Killer Bits. My name is Francesca, and we are back in the Smite Tactics Closed Alpha once again as we continue with our beginner deck series. And today we have Egyptian deck beginner Ra. Now, I want to preface this video by saying that of the beginner decks, I think that the Egyptian is the weakest pantheon for that, because I don't think that their pantheon cards, their starter cards at least, synergize that well together. And also, I think that, you know, they have some very, very strong crafted cards, which means that ultimately, you know, a beginner Ra deck, it struggles against, you know, other beginner decks. And even and then as soon as these decks have like crafted cards, it's going to have a hard time. But we've put together something that kind of gives you a taste for how Egyptian plays, at the very least. So that is our beginner Ra deck. And I'm also going to point out that I actually did put some crafted cards in this deck. I said that I was going to only put starter cards in, but the Egyptian starter cards I feel are very disjointed and don't necessarily synergize so well together. So we've put three, I guess, common cards in. So these crafted cards with the white symbol. I'll see if I can find one, like Cataclysm, for example. You see it's got a nice white symbol there. We've put three crafted cards in to allow us to gain a little bit of control more simply without, you know, having filler cards to hit that 20 card limit. Okay. So our crafted cards, we have Magma Slam, deal 3 damage to enemy, and we've got 2 of those. And we've got Cataclysm, stun all enemies in a target area, with which we have 1 of, and I'll go over that in a second. But first and foremost, Magma Slam. Magma Slam, like I said, deal 3 damage to enemies, god or minion, and this is targeted. And you can kind of already see why this would be put in a control deck. But when we look at our alternatives of the non-starter cards, you can kind of understand why this is in the deck. So our alternative for control is Sacrifice. Send a friendly god to the grave and deal damage equal to its health to a random enemy god or minion. Now, first and foremost, this requires you to remove a god from the board, one of your own cards, and it has to be a god, it can't just be a minion, to deal damage. So it costs 2 mana to deal damage. You have to sacrifice a card, and it is random. Whereas Magma Slam costs 2 mana, you can target it, and you don't have to sacrifice a god, so it doesn't require any sort of setup. So you can immediately see why Magma Slam is kind of better than Sacrifice. And then when you look at the gods available to you as starter gods, I mean, you can sacrifice a Sobek. I don't rate Sobek that highly as a card anyway. I don't think it's that good for what it does. So you could sacrifice him, but that again adds 2 cost to this. This is then a 4 cost 3 damage as opposed to a 2 cost 3 damage. Alternatively, you know, you can sacrifice Neith, but she's a 4/4 and she's ranged, so she automatically does 4 damage, like with her ranged attacks anyway. So I don't understand why you'd ever sacrifice her when you're better off just attacking with her. So that's kind of why we've put Magma Slam in here. But with our control deck, we have 1 blink. Move a friendly or enemy up to 3 spaces away. This is just good for escaping. You know, if the opponent has summoned something that you can't deal with straight away, Blink is a good way of just kind of keeping that away from you and stopping it from doing damage. Similarly, Fist of the Gods, stun an enemy. That, again, they can't attack or move for a round. So again, it gives you a bit more space to maneuver. And also they won't retaliate with this, which is a nice little card. We have 2 Sunders, which deal damage similarly to Magma Slam. We got a couple Basilisks in here as some early game, you know, presence, so that you can summon those up and use them to control the board. Similarly, Elder Harpy. Elder Harpy used to be a 3/3 and is now a 3/2, and I think it's not really that good, but, you know, we're kind of limited in what we can put in this deck with starter cards. So Elder Harpy's going in here, and she's definitely something you want to trade out, you know, as quickly as you can, because she can be killed by, you know, just a Sunder. You can just Sunder her and she's dead. Alternatively, I think there's a card in the Norse deck called Fate, deals 2 damage to 2 random enemies, so like Fate as well will just clear her up. So she's kind of easily dealt with, whereas at least Basilisk has 3 health, so it's a little bit more tricky to deal with. Cataclysm is our other crafted card. Stun all enemies in a area. So this does like a square, like a 4x4 area. And this is basically in this deck to combat Ambush, which is a Norse trait, which I'll talk to you guys about a little bit. Ambush, basically, when you summon a unit, it can't be targeted for the first turn that it's summoned. However, if you use Area of Effects, they do work against ambush units, so I won't be able to target with any of my like spells, for example, like my Sunder or my Magma Slam, but I can, however, stun it, which then means on the next turn I can target it with, you know, Sunders and Magma Slams. Then we have the kind of staple control cards of a Ra deck. That is Execute, 4 cost, kill an enemy god or minion, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good to just kill them. Alternatively, 4 cost, poison up to 2 enemies for lethal damage at the end of their turn. So they get poisoned, and then on their next turn they die, so they get 1 turn. And you can actually combo this with Fist of the Gods and stun them and then, you know, poison them, so then they can't move and they just die. So it's kind of like a 5 cost execute in some ways. And then we have our Neith and our Fury to deal damage. So like I say, you know, there are cards like Elder Harpy, for example, you're going to want to switch out. Maybe, you know, cut down to 1 Fury later on, for example. And there's lots of good Egyptian cards that are crafted. We've got Bastet. She's actually really good for flooding the board with her cats, if you can get her somewhere safe and just keep spawning cats every other turn. Because this has a 1-turn cooldown. Then you can then use them to body block or just to soak up damage, because, you know, just they've got charge on her. Also pretty good. And then we have our Anubis. Deal 3 damage to a target area. So this is an area of effect. So this is again good against those ambush cards, but you know, he's obviously much rarer than Cataclysm. We have Phantom Grasp, take control of an enemy god, so you just steal someone else's god, which is basically like summoning a god and executing in 1 turn. You don't get to choose where you place it, but again, it's pretty good. And if they summon something particularly strong, you can just kind of snaffle it off them. And then we have Book of the Dead, summon 3 random gods that have died this game to the battlefield. And with, you know, your executes and your last breaths, it's quite easy to, you know, kill 3 gods with a raw deck, and then summoning 3 gods is, you know, for 7 cost, that's huge. And this is kind of the reason why beginner raw is not seen as very good, because as soon as you get this card, your deck is just that much better. But we'll try and at least show you guys the way that the beginner raw deck is played. But I'm not, you know, I'm not hugely hopeful that we'll necessarily win, but at the very least we'll give it our best shot.
The sun has risen once again.
Okay, so we are going into Odin. I think that Ra has a better matchup into Zeus, because Zeus, he summons a lot of, like, strong gods, as you saw in my beginner Zeus deck. Whereas Odin, he can summon a lot of smaller gods, or smaller minions, sorry, and just kind of spam the board with a lot of monsters, which is harder to deal with this control deck. Whereas Zeus is definitely an easier matchup for Ra. We'll hold on to the Basilisk, because that's something we can use early on. And we'll mulligan our 2 stronger monsters. We've got 2 Last Breaths and a Neith, which is not really great in terms of starter cards, but we've got a Basilisk, so at least we have something to play. We're also, because we have... oh, we're going first, I was going to say, because we have no thing, we're going first. What I'm probably going to do then is run to this bush, summon the Basilisk in this bush, and end my turn. This is basically gives me set up that I can start moving the Basilisk around the board to try and cause trouble for Odin. So hopefully we'll have a pretty good time with that. What's he going to do? He's going to go up there. That's kind of standard. He'll summon some things in this bush. Probably... Odin has a lot of cards that summon like 2 minions at once. Oh no, he's got his own Basilisk. So we can actually bring our Basilisk close enough to hit him here, so that's what we're going to do. We unfortunately don't have the mana to cast any of this other stuff. So what we can do here, move this to here, and attack. That's him rooted, and then move me, let me think, 4, range 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have to stand here, and then hit him as well, and just kind of start on the offensive. We do have, like I said, a lot of control in our hands. Unfortunately, you know, we didn't get many starter cards. We're getting a lot of our higher cost cards, but that's just sometimes you get poor draw. What's interesting here, like, you know, this way his Basilisk kind of has to come in to deal with me, whereas my Basilisk did direct damage to him. I couldn't get my Basilisk close enough to hit his, and this way, because they retaliate and it's melee, it should be fine. So he's played +1 permanent damage to his leader there. The thing is, this does have 3 movements, so this can actually come in and root me, which is pretty annoying. All things told. I don't know if he's going to do it, though. Because you can move your own units through your units. So you can't move a unit through an enemy unit. You'd have to go round an enemy unit, but he can just move this to here. Oh, he's not going to do it. Okay, well, this suits me, to be honest. Again, we're not really getting what we want, unfortunately. Next turn we can summon up Neith. We could just cast our Last Breath because, you know, we've got another one in hand, so it's not really the end of the world. So I might actually just do that. Move me to... Let me see, where can this move to? 3, 1, 2, 3. He can move to here. So if I move me to here, then at least this can't hit me that turn. So if we move me to here, hit you, cast a Last Breath, which will target this because it's in a bush. So this poisons random enemies. So, like, the fact that it's in a bush means this will still get hit because it's just random. Unfortunately, he only has 1, and you can't really poison the leader and kill him, unfortunately. And then we will end our turn there. And that does mean that the Basilisk... Oh, no, wait, he can kill me. Fuck. He can hit me. He can move to here. I should have moved to... You know, well, I couldn't escape the Basilisk. Never mind. I tell a lie. I could not escape it. Never mind. We'll see how this goes. And this is the kind of card that, like, you know, a Magma Slam would be great to kill because it does 3 damage. So you just Magma Slam it and he's dead. I'm a little bit worried about how many cards he has. He does have 6 cards. And I think he still has the Mana Crystal. I'm hoping he's maybe not noticed that it's his turn. And, like, he can just, like, let the Basilisk die. Not play anything. And then everyone will be happy. We've also got our Fury. We can't play that next time. We can play it the turn afterwards. And we've got another Last Breath, so if he just starts summoning too many minions, you know, we've got options. Suitor, adjacent friendlies gain +1 attack. So he's actually given himself +1 attack by being next to that. He's not, I was going to say he's not used the Basilisk, but there it goes. That will die now, and we can take these out with our Last Breath. But, like, I'm rooted. Although, let me think. 1, 2, how far can I move? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, is that, do diagonals count? How does this work? You can move me to there. Or behind this rock. How far can you move? He can't get me if I go behind the rock. So what we're actually going to do, I think we're going to blink me to here. Cast Last Breath to kill those. I mean, I'll get rooted, but it means that Odin can't get me and the Searcher can't get me this turn. So I'll only take, you know, damage from the Basilisk. And that's pretty good, all things told. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. We're still keeping control of the board. And we've still got, you know, options for executes. And we should still have some Magma Slams and stuff in the deck. So we've still got some options for clearing the board. And this is a better way to use the Last Breath to hit 2 monsters rather than 1. But unfortunately, I wasn't seeing, you know, much of my other clear cards. So we'll see how this goes. Depends where he moves to. He's moved to there. So I'm assuming he's going to bring this Basilisk in and hit me. Oh, he should have summoned this here, because then the Basilisk would have done extra damage. But as soon as he moves it to here, it's only going to hit me for 3. Oh, this is such a pain in the ass situation. There's Mayhem. Mayhem is a very strong Norse card. You deal damage. Oh, he moved it to there. Never mind. I stand corrected. You deal damage based on the number of monsters you have on the board. Holy shit, right, okay. I think I'm possibly dead. We can summon Neith here.
Time to limber up.
We can sunder this and kill it. This is the thing, I'm rooted, and Odin I can't run away from. Although I can body block with Neith. He's going to hit me for at least 2 damage on the next turn, because he can just run up and hit me. But I'll still have 3 health. What we could maybe do is sandwich ourselves into a corner, summon the Fury to, you know, keep us safe, and then at least we'll be kind of safe. Oh no! Nicely played. So he gave himself +2 attack, and he used the Fate card to damage me. And this is the problem with the Norse card, is you saw he was just summoning a lot of minions, which made it pretty hard for me to control the board. And this is why I think Ra does better against Zeus. Because he, you know, summons bigger minions, like lots of big minions. The other thing is, like, we didn't see our executes and stuff, which was kind of a shame. But, you know, it went okay. It went okay. We'll have another go at it, and we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I wasn't super hopeful for this deck. But we'll see how it goes.
The sun has risen once again.
Okay, so we're going into Norse again. This time the leader is Freya. Freya, I think you have to find her in a pack. She used to be basically a card that you could just play, and then she became a leader, and I'm not sure if you find leaders in packs, but this does not bode well for us because it means this person probably has crafted cards. We're going to put our executes away at the moment because it's like they're full cost, so we're not going to be able to play them early. Magma Slam is good for board control. Basilisk, Last Breath, it seems alright, it seems alright. I am going first. I guess we'll just come forward, summon a Basilisk, and hit her. And like I say, Norse is a pain in the ass because, like you saw, you know, she summoned, or last time, Odin summoned a load of minions and then just hit me in the face. But Norse has recently had a lot of buffs, so they're seen as pretty strong right now. A lot of people are playing them. Okay, so she played her Fate card and a Sunder just to clear the board, which is good. She's now next to me though. She's gonna chop me up, which is less good, but not the end of the world. I also have nothing to play. Like, literally nothing. We've got a lot of control cards that we can't play until next turn. Oh, this is frustrating. This is frustrating, right? Let's just get out of the way and hit her. The thing is, like, you can't run away from a melee god. This is the thing. You have to try and, you know, body block them with monsters. So queuing up against Norse, this deck isn't that great. I think Ra in general has a harder time against Norse than Zeus, like I said. And then Zeus, you know, is pretty good against Norse, and then so on and so forth. They kind of got this, like, triangle thing. But we'll give it our best, and we'll see what we can do. And ultimately, if you get a flavor for the deck, you can kind of understand the basic premise of Control Ra. And then in the future, I'll hopefully be able to do a proper video of Control Ra with all the, you know, really strong cards that he needs. And you can see she's just whittling away my health there. Backstab, I took 3. She's going to hit me again. The Fate card that she used hit me as well, the one that she used to clear the minion. So there's a lot of cards in a Freya deck that kind of do that, or in a Norse deck. So it's quite a tough one to play against. Okay. We can basically stun both of these with our Cataclysm, which could actually be quite nice. Just to buy us some time. So we'll Cataclysm these 4. The thing is, Cataclysm, if she starts summoning ambush minions, I've basically fucked up because I've used the Cataclysm here. But the alternative is we want Magma Slam. We could actually just Magma Slam Colder. We can Magma Slam Colder. This is maybe a better idea. Fist of the Gods, stun Freya, hit her. That means she can't chase after me this next turn, which is pretty nice. And then we're in an okay position. She only has 2 cards, which is quite good. And then we'll end our turn for now. I'm hoping we draw Neith. Ideally, we draw Neith because we're about to hit 5 mana. She costs 5 mana. We can basically get away from Freya and summon Neith to then, you know, use our ranged abilities to kind of keep her at bay, which is what we ideally want to do. Sentry will draw a card from your opponent's deck. Alternatively, she's just drawn Neith. Which would be pretty annoying. Sentry Ward's actually quite a good starter card if you don't have much else, simply because then at least you can utilize the fact that other people have good cards. Yeah, we have nothing to play. We can stun her again. I think she has nothing to play, though. Let's just, let me see, 1, 2, 3, where do we stand? We stand here. 1, 2, 3, we can stun her. And then on the next turn, summon up a Fury. This is, ideally, you know, I wouldn't want to use my Catalysm this way, but we're not drawing that well, so let's just do that. If she summons Neith, we can execute Neith, so that's an option. And if she summons, you know, an ambush unit like a Loki, at least we have the Fury that he'll probably use the Loki on instead. Oh, look, she took my Neith. Oh, I hate everything. Right, we can just execute this Neith. She's going to start chasing me down now. Let's just execute my own Neith. Didn't want to do that. Move away from her. And end our turn. Because on the next turn, we either summon a Fury, which she has to deal with, or we summon a Neith. Backstab, I took 3 damage. Oh, that's nasty. I'm down to 8. She can't get close enough, which is good. Okay, we want to summon Neith then. How far can you move? 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So if we let me just work this out. She can move to here or here. And Neith, how far can Neith move to? I'm just trying to figure out what my opponent is going to do. I don't want to get too close to her. And I don't want to... Actually, let's move to here. Summon a Neith here. And then we can use our God Power, because I can't hit her anyway, so we can just use this 2 mana to heal myself. Which is better than, you know, not spending this mana, because there's nothing to Magma Slam, there's nothing to Last Breath. And we don't need the Fury right now. And then we're in a better position. We can start moving closer and summoning up that Fury as well. So this is actually going alright, but I think it's maybe going alright because Neith isn't drawing that well. Like, maybe she doesn't have a lot in her hand that she can do much with. And now we have board control, which is super nice. 1, 2, 3. So we can hit her there with the Neith. Oh, I'm happy, you guys. We can also then move 1 forward and summon a Fury right here, which she'll then have to run away from. Basically, with Furies, they only have 2 mobility, so you want to summon them right next to your opponent. So that then if the opponent does try and run away, 1, 2, 3, the Fury chases her 1. The Fury can't quite catch her. We do have a Blink in this deck, though, so we can always use the Blink to move the Fury.
There is battle to be met.
Okay, so we can actually just take out Thor here with these 2, because they're ranged. Or we execute him. Do we execute him? I think we just... So if we execute him... Or, how much damage does Magma Slam do? 3. So I could Magma Slam him and then hit him and summon the Fury. Or we execute him and we don't summon the Fury. No, I think we Magma Slam him. We'll just take him out with Neith. We'll move one forward. Summon the Fury next to her, so that keeps the pressure on her. I probably should have moved Neith a bit closer, actually. And hit her, because I forgot I haven't attacked yet. And end our turn. Okay, I mean, the thing with Norse is they can, you know, summon a bunch of units and then play, you know, like Mayhem or something. They can basically make a very strong unit in one turn. She should have moved one more square. You can't outrun my Fury. If she'd moved one more square, the Fury wouldn't have been able to catch her. We can move Neith close enough to kill Fenrir. Oh, they're shelled. Can I execute him? Oh, I think I can. Oh, shell only reduces damage taken by 1. And we will move Neith. How far can she move? She can move to where I am. We'll move me to here. Attack you. Summon the Harpy. Move Neith to here. Attack you. Did I attack you with me? I did. Oh, there we go. We win! Yes! Oh, get wrecked. Feels good. Feels good. I'm not sure if she maybe just drew badly or she hasn't constructed a very good deck or what it is, because Norse is a bugger to play, especially with the beginner raw. But you can see that we did manage to win one there, and that's kind of how the control deck works. You know, as soon as you've kind of got a little bit of control on the deck and you can start summoning these minions, if the enemy doesn't deal with them, you can then continue to deal with their minions with your control card and basically advance your unit of like your like wall of minions forward. But I do think Egyptian is definitely better, like I say, with a few crafted cards. But that's more or less beginner raw. And you can kind of see how it's played out there and how a control raw deck might work as you build up your deck. If you have any questions or suggestions, you know, let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, do hit that thumbs up button. And if you have anyone who's new to tactics, maybe share them with them. And yeah, let me know what you want to see next week. We'll probably be doing beginner Norse. I think that Freya you have to find in a pack, so we'll probably have an Odin deck for you. But we'll do a beginner Norse deck. You kind of got a flavor for how Norse plays out there. And then after that, basically for the next couple weeks I'm gonna have to like pre-record my videos, so if there's been any major patches, you know, something in the beginner cards I don't expect to change too much, but if I do a more complicated deck it might be a little bit out of date, so we'll see what we do for the week after that. But then I'm back from Christmas and everything will be fine. So yeah, if you like this video, thumbs up. Here's all our social media links, and if you want to support us as content creators, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/thekilobits. I'll be back next Thursday with some more tactics. And if you're still into card games, you know, we do have Gwent content going up on the channel by Yaki, so you can always check that out. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!